And be very welcome to Access Rede, my noble friend Morten Veland. Be very welcome, man. It's a great honor have you on our radio show this evening.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here with you guys tonight.
Yes, it's really amazing. I was talking in Portuguese on the opening of the stream that Morten, I listen your music, your songs since the times of end of my adolescence, my teenager, my youth, the times of my first university, and and it's truly amazing talking with you. You are one of my music heroes from all times, and your song is always present on my DJ sets through this long 23 years. And man, it's really great to have you here this evening.
Wow, thank you so much. I'm really happy to hear that, and I'm glad to hear that you have enjoyed my music for so many years. That's very impressive, actually. It's been some years now since the first Tristani album. So yeah, I'm really happy to hear that. Thank you.
Oh, okay, Morten. We have a tradition here on the show when we start the interviews. I always make for my guests presenting himself, and we always have the questions sounds like, please, please, Morten Veland by Morten Veland. Please speak, speak about speak more with you. Please tell us when you start your career, when you start to play instruments, when you start to listen, to create this amazing and dark atmospheres of your songs. Please tell us a bit more of your beginnings.
Yeah, I bought my first electric guitar in 1992, and I started practicing a lot, something like I think probably 14, 15 hours every day after I bought it, and just a very few months later, I started my first band. In the beginning, it was just me and the original drummer from Tristania, Kenneth Awesome, was my best friend at the time, and we played together for some months, and then we began to bring in a few more members in the band, and we kept on playing. In the start, it was basically just playing cover songs and stuff like that, and after a while, we started writing our own songs as well. Um, and in the beginning, it was pretty much like a straight kind of rock and roll that we were playing, inspired a lot by bands like Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue, Alice Cooper, um, and then later also Metallica and stuff like that. And after some years, um, then we started leaning more towards a gothic-oriented direction. Bands like the Sisters of Mercy, The Mission, Fields of the Nephilim. They were, bands that we really were getting into, and so at some point we decided also to take our music into a darker direction, and I think it was somewhere around 1995, like 3 years later, that we formed Tristania, and 1 year later we recorded a demo, and we sent it out to some labels, and after a little while we got an offer for a record deal with Napalm Records, and that pretty much when it all started, that we were started working more professionally and so on. And the demo that we recorded was with like 4 songs, and we did a remix and remaster of the same thing. And I think we also made a new cover artwork, and it was released on Napalm Records. I think it was called Midwinter Tears, if I'm not mistaken. It was like an EP with only 4 songs, and it was released in 97, I think, 96 or 97. And in 98, then we released the debut album, Widow's Weeds. And yeah, ever since, it's been full speed ahead, with I was working with Tristania for a few more years. And then I formed Sirenia in 2001. And some years later, or well, 9 years later, actually, 10 years later, I formed Mortemia as well, like a solo project thing. And yeah, so it's been pretty much full speed ahead with music since 1996, I would say, for my part.
Yes, it's a great history, my friend. It's a great history with many conquests, and this is truly exciting. This is absolutely amazing. And okay, and our first question is: the return of Mortemian is an exciting topic for all us who admire your music. Please tell us a bit more of the new album.
Um, yeah, the new album that I'm working on um, is kind of a project for me where I'm trying to do something special, something different that I haven't really done before. And it's also the first time that I do release music without a label. So I'm doing this independently. And so the idea is that I'm going to make, I think, about 12 songs for this project. And for each song, I invite a special guest to sing together with me. And so far, I released 2 songs. The first one was the Enigmatic Sequel. And my special guest for that song was Madeleine Liljestam from the band Elaine. And then after I released the second single, which was called Death Turns a Blind Eye. And my special guest for that one was Marcella Bovio. And so now the plan is, to do 10 more songs. I will try to release 1 song every month, and to keep this going, for the time coming, and then hopefully finalizing this project somewhere around summertime next year. And then also I'm planning to do a physical album, like a CD, and possibly also a vinyl release with all the songs on it.
Mhm. And Morton, the streaming platforms like Spotify, Bandcamp, and many others are 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 being a good a good a good tool for musicians, especially dark musicians, spread your music around the world. Are being are being a good thing for all you, or it's something who remains a bit strange actually. What are your ideas about the streamings during these last times?
Yeah, I think, for example, if you want to do something independently, which I'm trying now, as a like it's pretty much like a test project for me to try this, something totally new. With Sirenia, I'm still working with Napalm Records, and so this is. But it seems to me, that with all the streaming platforms, it's a lot easier, to make distribution digitally is a whole lot easier than making the physical distribution of the CDs. And so it's I think with the evolution that we had in the music business over especially the last 10 years or so, it's become more easy for artists to do things themselves. Um, but still, there is a lot of work to do in terms of the promotion and getting your music out there. I think I have maybe a little advantage, with having the long career with Sirenia. So I have a lot of contacts and so on in the business that helps a lot. And Marchemia, it's so far I just released 2 songs, and it seems to be growing pretty fast. More and more people are showing interest for this project, and more people are listening on the digital platforms. So it's a very exciting project to do, and the timing for me was perfect as well. With the COVID-19 pandemic and all, with all the touring coming to an end for this long period. So I thought, I really got to do something with all this extra time that I have on my hands. And one of the first things that came to my mind was to start working on the Mortemia project again. It's something that I wanted to do for a long time, but I've been so busy with Sirenia that I couldn't really find the time to write for Mortemia so far. So yeah, with the situation being what it is today, for me it's perfect to do this project now. And with Sirenia, we just released a new album as well, so there's the timing for me is perfect to do a Mortemia album now.
Mhm. And for me, Mortemia brings a powerful blast from the past. Remember me good times from my youth and admiring the atmosphere of Tristania first albums and that are my favorites. And when I listen the Enigmatic Sequel, we can feel that Mortemia is bringing to us a great and truly amazing album. Could you talk a bit more about the enigmatic sequel and make a little spoiler of the songs of this new work?
Yeah, the Enigmatic Sequel, it's I think it's a very dark song, and it has a lot of that atmosphere from the earlier days. And I think Martemia in general is musically, it's quite inspired by the 90s in a way. And for me, with Sirenia, for example, it's more like, musically speaking, is more like a travel into the future, while Mortemia, it's kind of a travel into the past. I'm inspired more by metal from the 90s, for example, and also the kind of style that I was writing at that time. And so yeah, there will be different stuff, with the 12 songs coming, but a lot of the material is kind of old school stuff and kind of inspired by the 90s metal era, I would say.
Mhm. And Morten, there's a personal question that all my friends, musicians, cineasts, and never escape when came here on Access Rede. When you are creating your music, your songs, what cannot miss? Some people already tell me some inspiration came from old horror movies, and other friends tell me about comic books or even horror books, and every artist that have that's something that can't miss when he is creating your music, the atmosphere of your songs. What cannot miss on your studio or when you are creating new songs?
Um, I think for me, I write really a lot of my ideas in the winter time, and I find that really inspiring here in Norway. With most of the days being dark and there's really cold outside. We tend to spend a lot of time indoors in winter in Norway, obviously because of the cold. And there's just something with the whole atmosphere of the Scandinavian winters that makes me, you don't want to. In summertime, for example, you get kind of restless and you want to go outside. You want to do things with your friends and stuff like that. But in winter, it's something. It makes me really focused, and I spend most of my time inside and in my studio, and it seems to be really easy for me to be creative and focused in this time of year. And I really tend to write a lot of my ideas in winter. And for the rest of the year, a lot of the time I kind of work on those ideas that I made and arrange them and put them into songs and do work like that. But really, a lot of the basic ideas they are written during the winter time. So I think at the end of the day, winter is probably my biggest source of inspiration. In the early days, I could be inspired by reading books or watching movies and that kind of stuff, but I really, can't find much time for that any longer. So, um, but then again, also, buying some new equipment for the studio, getting new sounds, new atmospheres, and stuff like that can also be very inspiring. And can also easily, you know, trigger me to get writing new ideas and so on.
Yes, winter is a very evocative time, and I think that when we live on a country surrounded by snow, must be most evocative atmosphere of all. And I never was in Norwegian, but I think I see the pictures, I see in the movies, and look astonishing country, very inspiring place, and it's very good to have this opportunity of listening this from you, my friend. And now, how are you working with a great vocalist like Madeline Lewiston? Her working on Airline Band, it's awesome, and the result on the track Enigmatic Sequel is a very beautiful one. And and please tell us a bit more about this new partnership. I by my here from my side, I listened and whoa, man, this is great vocalist, great music. Please tell us a bit more about this new partnership.
Yeah, it was. When I wrote that song, I was, thinking about what singers could be right, to have singing on this track, and Madeleine was one of the first singers that I came to my mind. So I decided to contact her, and I sent her the songs and everything, and she really liked it, and she wanted to join on the project. And so I basically just sent her the files and the details, and she did her own interpretation of the song and recorded her parts in Sweden. And then she sent everything over to me in Norway, and I added it all to the song, and did the mixing and fitted everything together with my parts and so on. And I think it turned out, absolutely fantastic, and really turned out how I, kind of imagined it to sound from the very beginning. So she really did hit it perfectly, I think, and she were able to create that kind of magical atmosphere, and this melancholic atmosphere as well on the song, which I just think was perfect for the song.
Mhm. And now let's talk. It's a, oh, um, Mortemia, it's absolutely amazing. This first song was great, but let's talk about a little. Let's talk now about Sirenia. Enigma of Life is a great album from Sirenia, and your partnership with vocalist Eileen and her amazing voice, it's amazing. My favorite album. What good memories have you have from record Enigma of Life, and also from the shows and the tours of that time?
From that album, I think, if I remember correctly, I did record a lot of the parts in my own studio, and I think maybe it was the first time that we did so. I think so, yeah. And yeah, so Eileen, she was at in Norway, and we did record all her parts there. I remember I also traveled to France to record some additional stuff there. I recorded the choirs, and I think some acoustic instruments. I did my acoustic guitars there, and also we did some violins and stuff like that. And and then also I think I mixed that one in Norway as well. And yeah, we were traveling quite a bit with this album, if I remember correctly. Um, it was released. When was it released? 2010 or something around this period. So I believe we were also in South America for the first time. I'm not sure if it was with this album or if it might have been with the album before too. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, there's some good memories from this period. It's a little bit far in the past now, so I'm having a little bit trouble with remember exactly which year and all that. But yeah, I remember we did some nice tour around this period where the album was released.
Mhm. Yeah, it's a great work. And most recently, you release amazing cover from Voyage Voyage of the band Desireless. How this amazing song Voyage Voyage appear, and how was the creative process to bring us this amazing cover?
It's it's been a song that I really liked for years and years. I can remember when it was released actually back in 1985. I think it was 85 or 86, and I heard it on the radio in Norway, and I immediately fell in love with the song. Even back then, there is some melancholic vibe to the song. It's kind of even though it's like a synth pop song from the 80s, it really has, to me, a dark atmosphere. It's really melancholic, and I fell in love with the song immediately, and I liked it ever since. And even in later years, it's been one of the songs that we played a lot in our tour bus when we were touring with Sirenia, and so it became kind of like one of our party songs on the tour bus that we played a lot. And I told the band that I had some ideas and I really wanted to make a cover version of this song, and I don't think they took me seriously. I think they thought I was joking or something. But I was I was beginning to work on a cover version. I had a vision, that it would be possible to turn this synth pop song into a metal song, and that was my task with the song. And I really loved the way that it turned out. And but I remember when we was releasing it, we were pretty much expecting to be, butchered in the comment sections. I wasn't really thinking that the metal fans would would kind of accept it or like this version, but it really turned out that so many people like the song, and it's become really, really popular, this version. And that was really, to be honest, it was very unexpected to see that, and I think that's really, really cool, but we wasn't really expecting is we didn't really think, that the the fans would be ready for something like this.
Yes, it's a great one, and we played this cover many times on our thanks to the online party and also on our DJ streaming or the Rede night is here also on twitch.tv Rede and my wife especially loved the song. She's DJ and we always playing the song. We love the sonority, the atmosphere of the song, and on your cover was very cool. It's a great time. It's a great time. And Morten, here on Brazil, you are considered one of godfathers of the gothic metal, according the magazines, the websites, the musicians, journalists, and and please tell me, did you appreciate this term gothic metal, or when you think that it exists a better term for call bands like Mortemia or even Sirenia? What your views? What your ideas about this term?
Yep, I'm not sure actually how this term came to be, but personally, I don't have a problem with it. I think it's kind of okay, when we started in the early days with Tristania, as I told you, we were really inspired by Gothic rock bands, especially the bands from UK, Sisters of Mercy, Fields of Nephilim, The Mission, and these kind of bands. And but I always considered Tristania to be more metal rather than rock. So somehow we were labeled Gothic metal, and I guess it was fine. I don't know who came up with the term, or I don't know if there's any better terms. Um, there probably are, but you know, my vision with writing the music was always to mix up a lot of different elements from uh, so many different musical genres, and putting everything together to like a big musical concept. And so it was. I always felt it was hard to put a label on my bands too, because the music was so broad. There was so much different stuff on there, that it would be kind of hard to find one label that would kind of describe it all. So, but yeah, we were labeled gothic metal from the very beginning, and I think it just stayed with us through all the years. And I think in most of the cases, we are still labeled gothic metal, and to me, it's perfectly fine.
Hmm. I understand. Morten, you already visited Brazil 2 or 3 times. I'm not sure, but what your best memories from the shows here in our land? Are you have, I hope, good memories from Brazil?
Yes, I have very good memories from Brazil. I really love touring in the whole Latin America. Um, yeah, and I think the fans, they are um, so thankful and so also so energetic at the shows. You know, they are loud and they're screaming and jumping and headbanging. And for the artists, it's an amazing feeling, you know, to be on the stage and performing your music when you can clearly see, you know, that the fans in the audience, they are really enjoying it so much, you know, and that makes it a very special um, a very special experience for us as artists to play in Brazil and all the other Latin American countries as well, because you have something that is quite unique, you know, quite special. We have other parts of the world um, where fans can get really wild as well, and in some other parts you can see the fans, they are more just kind of, you know, they are standing there, they are really enjoying the music, but you know they are not um, being so wild in their way of showing it. So that's, I think, one of the special things about Latin America, and pretty much all the musicians and artists that I'm talking to, they all say the same thing. You know, they all of them really love to tour in Latin America, and when this pandemic is over, we are really looking forward to to come back once more. And yeah, I definitely hope that we can come by Brazil also this next time.
Oh yes, we hope next visit of Sirenia and even Mortemia here, and will be great. These pandemic times are really terrible here, but I have some hope that this could be the last months of this pandemic. I work with events, I work with band shows and with thematic parties, always related to the vampiric archetype. It's my favorite theme, and and our site and our base of activities always around the vampire archetype. And Morten, we have another traditional question here on Access Rede Vamp that our guests never escape of us. Morten, which are your favorite vampire on moves or even music, comic books or books that you a special character, a special vampiric character is your favorite along all this time?
Well, I think it has to be the movie Dracula, Bram Stoker's
Whoa.
Dracula, of course. I don't know how many times I have seen that movie, but yeah, it was a lot, especially around the time when it came out, and it has so many uh, fantastic actors in that movie, you know, and all of them are, you know, just playing insanely cool roles. Um, it's there's picking like one favorite of the characters. It would be it would be hard because there's too many. I mean, Gary Oldman and Anthony Hopkins and Leona Ryder, and I mean, all of them are just Keanu Reeves, of course. All of them are just doing amazing. There's something really magical about that movie that I really enjoyed from the first time I saw it, and even every other time I saw it afterwards as well. You know, so it's in terms of vampires and such that at least to me that is the absolute classic.
Yes, it's a great movie. My favorite moments out of this movie are this opening. It's it's something truly apotheotic, truly amazing, and when the Dracula interpreted by Gary Oldman when he say, "If my beloved burn in hell, there I must burn too." I think that's more or less something like this that they speak, but I think this is the most romantic thing that I listen on a movie, on a Dracula's movie included. I think this opening is the most exciting, most apotheotic movie opening from all times. It's a truly masterpiece. This movie.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
It's a great movie. And Morten, we are reaching here our I think our last minutes of our interview. And please leave a message for your Brazilian and Portugal audience. Well, we are living in South America here, and yes, we have many friends in Uruguay, Argentina too, Chile, Venezuela, and also Portugal too. But please leave a special message for your audience and your fans. Oh,
Yeah, I would, just like to say cheers to all our friends, our fans, and to stay safe. Take care, and we are really looking forward to coming back on tour as soon as the pandemic is over, as soon as things go back to normal, and it's possible to arrange the concerts again as it used to be. And it's been almost 2 years now without any shows, any concerts, and has been absolutely terrible for everybody, for all the fans, for the artists, for everybody that enjoys music and festivals and concerts, shows and clubs and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, it's stay safe, take care, and we will come to visit you as soon as possible.
thank you so much, Morten, by your time, by your presence here on our Access Redevamp. It's truly great to have this opportunity to talk with you and realize this interview. And you always very welcome when you wish return to tell us more about new projects, new releases. The space here is always open to you, okay?
Thank you very so much, my friend. It's been my pleasure to be here with you tonight.
Thank you so much, Morton. Thank you so much by this opportunity and by this time. And now I go to Portuguese.
Se você gostou deste vídeo, deixe um curtir, compartilhe com pessoas afins e visite sempre o nosso portal redevamp.com.